Hey there, fellow gamers. Welcome back to Pokemon Trading Card Game Week here at Dapper Dan Games. And today I'm going to talk about part 2 of my basic strategy series for Pokemon Trading Card Game. And today we're going to talk about retreating. Now, before I go into that, I kind of need to explain what retreating is, since I didn't really talk about this in my How to Play video. Retreating is basically how you get your Pokemon from the active spot into your bench and switch it out with one of your bench Pokemon. The way you can tell how much it costs to do this, each Pokemon has a retreat cost, meaning that you have to pay a certain amount of energy. By that I mean discarding it from that Pokemon to bench it and then bring out a new active Pokemon. You can tell this by the colorless energy symbols in the bottom left corner of the card. So the reason you'd want to do this is this lets you switch out your Pokemon to a more powerful attacker. So if you have someone else who is powered up, ready to fight, but you don't want to wait until your Pokemon that's currently out there gets knocked out to bring them out, you retreat. You just switch them out, bring them out your more powerful attacker, and there you go. Another thing you can do with it is you can switch out an injured Pokemon into a fresh, no damaged Pokemon so that you can keep it from being KO'd and giving your opponent a prize. Another thing is that retreating removes status conditions from the active Pokemon. So if you do that, you'll be able to protect it from being poisoned or burned or whatever, so that it doesn't keep taking damage from that. So that's a good thing, you know? One thing to keep in mind, though, is the downside of playing Pokemon with high retreat cost. High retreat cost is anything from even 2 retreat cost, 3, 4, 3 and 4 is like almost prohibitive. It really hinders the flexibility of that card because it makes it so that if that Pokemon's out in the active spot and gets in a position it doesn't want to be in, it's going to cost you several turns worth of energy to remove it from the active zone. So, thinking about the fact that you can play 1 energy a turn, you go into this situation where you have, like, let's say, this Torterra out, and it has a retreat cost of 4, meaning that 4 turns worth of energy, playing it down and all that stuff, has to be just gone just to get it out of the active zone, which is, it can really hurt. Especially if it doesn't have any energy on it or only a few energy on it, and it needs to get out of there. It means you have to take several turns of investing energy in it to retreat it just to have all that energy go to waste. So it's not a situation you really want to be in. To kind of compensate for that, there have been cards out. One of them is called Switch. Switch is a card that lets you switch your active Pokemon with one of your bench Pokemon. This is a really great card because it lets you have flexibility in the game. You can take your high retreat cost Pokemon that would take a couple energies or even 3 or 4 energies to get out of there and switch them out free. So you don't have to worry about it being stuck there and all those energies going to waste. So it's a very useful, versatile card, and you can get a lot of people out of many sticky situations. Kind of on the opposite side of that is the card Pokemon Catcher. Pokemon Catcher switches your opponent's active Pokemon with one of his or her bench Pokemon. This is a great card, one of the best cards in the game right now, actually, because it lets you put your opponent in a really sticky situation. Let's say they have a high retreat cost Pokemon on the bench, and you want to be able to stall for some time. You just switch that Pokemon out there into the active spot. They have to start investing some turns into putting energy on it just to be able to get it out of there or attack with it or whatever. And then now you have a few turns to be able to set up and do what you want. Or you can take a low health Pokemon that they put on the bench to protect it, force it to switch in, and then attack it with your attack to knock it out and get an easy prize. So that's some of the few things Pokemon Catcher is good for. And so this is a pretty short episode, but I just wanted to explain exactly what retreating is and why you should do it and why it's important. I always suggest looking at low retreat cost Pokemon, see if they're any worth playing. There's some real good ones that can help you set up and then just retreat out real quick. So just keep out an eye for those. And thanks for watching, guys. This is Dapper Dan here. Check out my next strategy video coming out soon. And you guys have a good day. Thanks for listening.